It's that one letter, one word difference that changes the whole question. Yeah, yeah. That's why like you read it, you're like, oh, I know exactly what they're gonna ask, and then you get it wrong. You're like, what happened? You see the yellow line that you got it wrong. I'm like, what happened? And you go back and read it. I'm like, oh, they're asking for that instead of. I'm like, oh.
Let's welcome our next guest who just recently passed the CPA exam.
My name is Kwabena Sarpong, and I am a CPA, well, pending CPA. I've passed all 4 parts of the CPA exam. I got my Bachelor's of Science in Accounting at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. And then for my Master's of Science in Accounting, I went to Indiana University at Bloomington. And a little bit about me, I just started working at PwC on October 1st of 2020. So,
what was the most difficult section for you?
So it's kind of funny. So I thought audit was the easiest to study for, but it was also the hardest one to take. I don't know if that makes sense. When I was going through that, I was like, oh, audit, this makes sense. Everything makes sense. Everything's good. So, but when I took the test, I was like, oh, this is it's very, very hard. But when I walked out of there, I was like, I don't know how I did. That was the first test I ever took. So I didn't know like anything. So I was a little scared when I walked out. I was like, I did not think I passed that walking out. I was like, this is not good. But then I got my score back and I saw it was an 81. So I was like, okay. So that I was like, oh, beautiful. That's perfect. So when I walked out all the other exams, I was like, audit was definitely the one I felt the least comfortable about. So I was like, as soon as I left all the other 3, because I took them all after, I was like, I definitely passed, because I was like, that was not as hard as audit was.
In what order did you take the CPA exam?
So I took audit first. I was still in school, and I thought it was going to be the easiest because I was going in the field of auditing, and I just finished taking an auditing class in my master's. I started studying in January, and I took auditing that fall. So I just fresh off, I was like, okay, everything should flow from the class into the book, and I was like, I'm going into this profession. So I thought I'd start off strong with the CPA. So I was like, okay, auditing is probably going to be the one that is going to be easiest for me personally. Well, I wanted to take FAR because I was taking a consolidation class that semester, and I knew that FAR had some consolidation chapters as well. So I thought if I started studying for FAR, the class would help me a lot when I was studying, which it did. So I thought that was going to be a nice follow-up. And then I decided to do Reg 3rd because I thought BEC was going to be the easiest. So I was like, I'm going to save the easiest for last. It's going to be like the victory lap. It's going to be, and I also was going to start working. So I was like, if I had to take one during work, I would hope it would be BEC versus all the other ones, but I thought all those were going to be harder.
How long did it take you to finish the CPA exam?
So I started studying January, I want to say like 4th. I started studying for audit. I was also in school of my master's program, and I was doing a chapter a day for audit. I was doing a chapter a week for audit, and then I took it in March, one of the last days. And then it was kind of funny because I took a practice exam on March 7th, and then I got like a 75, and I signed up to take my exam that Saturday. So I took the practice on like a Thursday, and I went to go take the real one. I signed up, so I took it on I took the practice March 7th, signed up to take the real one on March 8th for March 10th. So yeah. So I was like, well, if I got a 75, I'm ready to take it. So like, why wait? And I wanted to get my score back because that was like the testing periods, the testing windows. So I was like, if I take it now, I'll get my score back in like two weeks. So I went and I took it, and then the rest is history. So at BEC, I found out I passed October 9th, and I took it sometimes mid-September, like September 17th-ish. My main goal was to get it done before starting work. And I started work October 1st. So I was like, okay, I'll take it October 17th. I find out October 9th, and I won't be studying at all. Because I was like, the last thing I want to do is go work all day and then come back home and study all night. And I was like, that's not exactly how I want to live my life. I'm not doing that. I was like, I will study all summer, and I'll do whatever it takes just so I don't have to take it while I'm working. So all in all, from January to September, so about 8.5 months.